It means a lot to know that I have people here that, really do want to support me and want to kind of help advance my career. And I don't, not everybody has that privilege wherever they work. And so I think it reiterates how UST is a community, right? It's like a small family. So I think it's amazing. It's a great feeling.
Hey guys, welcome back to Bold. My name's Isabel. And as someone who's graduating in December with her undergrad in communications, I was wondering, what does a successful career in communications look like? I decided to sit down with Mallory Peterson. She's a UST alumni in communication who now works at UST as the Director of Corporate Relations. The Houston Business Journal just named her as a woman who means business in 2023. In this episode of Bold, we talked about the importance about relationships and putting yourself out there. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and YouTube at Max Studio UST to stay in the loop and get a behind-the-scenes sneak peek at everything that we're working on. Now, let's jump into this episode of Bold with Mallory. Mallory, welcome to Bold.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can you give us your elevator pitch?
Sure. So my name is Mallory Peterson. I am the Director of Corporate Relations for the University of St. Thomas. I'm also an alum. I graduated in 2011 with a degree in communications, and I also was recruited to play on one of the very first volleyball teams that St. Thomas had whenever they launched their athletics program.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And you were recently named by the Houston Business Journal as the 2023 Women Who Mean Business.
That is correct. I am a woman who means business.
I love that. And so this award is for women who are succeeding in their career, but while at the same time helping out their community.
That's correct.
And on that list, it's the CEO of Memorial Park Conservancy, Shelley Arnold, the COO, Houston Grand Opera, Molly Pill, the co-owner of Traveler's Table, Thai Mitchell. How does it feel to be one of those women on that list?
Honestly, it's very humbling, and I'm also extremely grateful to even be mentioned among that group of women. I mean, some of the most, I think, influential people in our city. And so, honestly, it's kind of shocking that they would even consider me among that group of people.
Yeah, but I mean, you deserve it.
I guess so.
You do. And what was that process like to win this award?
Yeah, so there is a kind of an application process involved. So we put together a nomination. I got several letters of support, including one from Dr. Ludwig, who was very kind and generous to provide some very amazing words. And so we submitted the nomination, and I heard a couple weeks back that I was among, the 90 women that they had selected across the city of Houston.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how did it feel to have Dawn and Dr. Ludwig just have your back?
It means a lot to know that I have people here that, really do want to support me and want to kind of help advance my career. And I don't, not everybody has that privilege wherever they work. And so I think it reiterates how UST is a community, right? It's like a small family. So I think it's amazing. It's a great feeling.
Good. And that's not the only award you won this year.
I know. I'm on a roll.
You are on a roll.
Yes. So earlier this summer, actually, I completed a Leadership Houston program. It's a 10-month program which really focuses on civic engagement and how you can kind of be a part and play a part of making an impact in the city of Houston. And at the end of that program, my classmates, we all had to come together and submit a nomination for the Patrice Yvonne Johnson Award, which is their Distinguished Alumni Award. And my classmates selected me to receive that award, which was, again, I was not expecting it. I was shocked and also extremely grateful that my peers, right, my professional peers, thought that highly of me.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you get out of this course?
Yeah, so the Leadership Houston program, it's about a 10-month journey essentially, where you get to learn about all the different pillars that make up this city, and it brings together a bunch of different professional leaders in this city, and they all work in different industries, all have different careers. And, we come together and not only learn about the city, but we also had to come up with an idea and a class project for how we can leave our lasting mark and imprint in the city and really give back. And so through that program and for our class project, we had decided that we were going to re-energize, transform a food market at the Yolanda Black Navarro Middle School. We really thought it was important to create a space where families in the community can not only get access to food if they're facing food insecurities, but have access to it in a beautiful space, and really create something that allowed them to have a little bit more dignity. And so we transformed this classroom into really what looks like a small little grocery store. And it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and time and effort that went into that project. But at the end, it was well worth it. It was amazing to see the impact that we have and that we're going to continue having in that community.
That's amazing. Whoa. Yeah. That's super cool. And so for both of these awards, you had to kind of put yourself out there, right? So for the Leadership Houston, you had to apply. Same thing for the Houston Business Journal. Is that how do you do that?
Part of it is, I think, just kind of advocating for yourself, and just being aware of what some of the opportunities are. And then also making sure that you've got that good foundation and trust with your employer and your boss, and just talking to them about it.
That's really good. Okay, so now we're going to go to the remote, and Destiny's going to do it this time since she's a Rising Star student, and we're going to talk about the Rising Stars.
Hi, my name is Destiny. I'm a freshman and I'm a Rising Star Scholar. As a Rising Star Scholar, I have a question for you. How does your typical day look like in office?
Normally, it involves a lot of, either internal or external meetings. So a lot of my time is spent meeting with, potential partners in the community, corporate sponsors, and maybe even some nonprofits who want to be a part of the Rising Stars program, who want to provide the internship experiences for y'all, and who just want to overall support the program.
Okay. My second question is, how do you guys match us up with our internship?
So we spent a lot of time, looking at y'all's resumes and, talking to the students and kind of understanding what y'all's passions and interests are. And then we have a very similar conversation with all of the companies to understand, do you have a specific role in mind for your intern? Do you want them in a certain department? Do you want them to support marketing or accounting? So then we kind of have those two conversations. We huddle back, with Dan Garcia and the Rising Stars team.
And you guys just had the first graduating class for Rising Stars. So how do you see that impact out on our graduates outside of UST?
So we did, and it was a huge milestone for the program and a big moment. And I think I cried literally every day from April until they graduated in May, because I was very excited to just get to see them walk across the stage. And so what was also really amazing about that day, in May, all of the students either had job opportunities lined up, or they were going on to get an additional degree, right? Going to grad school or going to law school. And so getting to see the impact that this program has had and will continue to have on y'all, it's extremely rewarding. And knowing that we're forming, future leaders that can go on and be, leaders in your own careers, it's truly amazing.
And how does your passion tie into the process with Rising Stars?
So, it's funny. My background is PR, marketing, and both of my parents they're both first generation college graduates, and then they both went into education. So they were both teachers for, 30 plus years. And I always told myself, I am not going anywhere near education. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't have the patience for it. And so it was never really what I thought. It was never really in the cards for me to be doing something related to education. But then once I, came into this role and got to be a part of building such a transformational program and truly like seeing the impact that it is having on y'all and really the greater community, it is so rewarding, and it makes it a lot easier to be like, I want to go to work today because I'm getting to help change lives, right?
Well, thank you for talking to me, Mallory. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And back to the studio with Isabel.
All right, now we're back into the studio, and we're going to talk about your undergrad at UST.
Yes. So whenever I came to UST, if I'm going to be completely honest, so I'm from Austin originally, born and raised, went to high school there, and was playing volleyball very competitively. And I had decided I wanted to try and continue to do that at the college level. And so whenever I was kind of going through the recruitment process, the University of St. Thomas, they approached me early on and said, hey, I think we might be interested in having you come play. I always thought growing up that I wanted to go to a big state school. I wanted, the big 4-year experience with like the big football games and, all of that. But once I was actually here at UST, although it took me a very long time to admit this, I realized that I actually needed a smaller campus. I needed some of that built-in accountability, maybe, where, your professors know who you are. They knew we had a volleyball game, on a certain night of the week. They would maybe even be in the gym watching us. So having some of that built-in support, having the smaller campus, I think it actually, it really did help me succeed. My original game plan was that I was going to come to school here, play volleyball for maybe like a year, maybe 2 years, and then transfer out and go to a bigger school because I still wanted that, that experience. But then once I got here and once I built those relationships, with my teammates and really kind of felt like a small family here, I decided I wanted to stay and I wanted to complete all 4 years here. I had the opportunity to continue playing the sport that I loved. Not everybody gets that opportunity beyond high school. And so it was a pathway to a school that I didn't know that I needed at the time. And completed my degree in 4 years, graduated with a degree in communications in 2011, and helped launch and build the beginning of what is now a pretty massive athletics program. Whenever I was here, there was volleyball and men's soccer. The fact that we have 19 sports now, we're NCAA Division III, and we have some really solid winning athletics teams. It's really, really cool to like be back and to get to witness some of that growth.
And now you said like the sports, like that has like changed a lot since when you were here. What's another aspect of the university that has changed?
So I think just the overall growth that the campus has experienced, it's really, really incredible to see and to get to be a part of that. For a very long time, you know, the unofficial tagline was, you know, Houston's best kept secret. Well, you can't stay a secret if you want to grow and if you want more people to know who you are. So I think just seeing our name kind of getting out there.
Yes. And okay, sorry, we like have to talk about this, but I saw that you were an intern for Miss Laura Bush. That's so cool. Let's talk about that.
So, yes, I had the opportunity. So the short version, my uncle actually worked with the Bushes. So I had told him, you know, I was still kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do after graduation. And he said, well, you know, I think they might be looking for kind of like a summer intern in, you know, the First Lady's office. Would you have any interest in, you know, going up to Dallas and doing that for a couple months? And I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. So I had the opportunity to you know, intern in her office, and she shared a space with the former president as well. So he was regularly in the office too. And it was, I mean, it was an incredible experience getting to just be around, you know, a former president, former first lady. But I also think it was very eye-opening because you realize people, even in really high positions, are also just people at the end of the day. And so I think that was just a good lesson to learn because you can take that approach kind of with everybody, right? Like they are just people and you have to be able to give people grace.
That's so awesome. And you came back to UST.
I was kind of ready for a change career-wise. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. And so actually one of my former teammates that I played with at UST, who's now the head coach of our volleyball team, she knew I was looking and she said, I don't know if this is in your wheelhouse, but you know, UST is looking to hire a director of corporate relations. And I thought, well, I have never worked in nonprofit. I have never worked in higher education. But I'm pretty decent at building relationships. I mean, I've had to build relationships in my other jobs, just in a different capacity. And so I decided to apply and decided to interview. And here I am, like 4 years later.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And so as I'm a communication student, I'm graduating in December. Do you have any, like, you've obviously been through the whole communication. Do you have any, like, advice for me, someone who's, like, about to graduate?
I would say don't pass up any opportunity just because you think it might not be exactly what you have in mind for your career path. Because you never know what door is going to open, and you never know what relationship that you build with somebody could down the road turn into something even greater. And so I think especially when you're younger and you have the ability to kind of experience different things, just take advantage of it and find good mentors, you know, find people that are willing to kind of let you try stuff and to just kind of figure things out. And don't be afraid to just try it And even if you maybe don't get it right the first time, or maybe you realize I don't want to do this at all, but at least you tried and you kind of figured that out on your own. Communications it's a very broad umbrella. You can do a lot of different things with that. And you'll probably also realize that, there's not a lot of people that are actually great at communicating in this world. So, it's going to benefit you in whatever career you decide to go into. But I would definitely say just don't turn something down just because you think it's not the path that you're supposed to take, because it may be exactly the path that you're supposed to take. You just don't know it yet.
That's really good. Yeah, I'll definitely take that into consideration. Well, thank you so much for being here, Mallory.
Thanks for having me.
It was so much fun talking to you and learning all about you.
Yes, it was wonderful having this conversation.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay well, my friends.